Okay. Well, hey, everybody. Sorry to interrupt your conversation. This is the May meeting of the South Carolina Linux Users Groups, Upstate South Carolina Linux Users Group here in Greenville, South Carolina. And then everyone online, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Dillard, Andrew, or Arnold. Good to see you too. Don't have a topic tonight. So what should we talk about? What were y'all talking about just now? You were talking about the AI assisting.
Yeah, on the development side thing, just AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, something I did think about was that, coming up events, just so that everyone's aware of them. If I can find them right quick. So this is our meeting. Okay. Yeah. And then where is,
Right.
yes. Yeah. So Hack Greenville Nights is coming up. Spring edition is the May 28th. It's gonna be in this room and surrounding, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice to see them once a quarter. Yeah, May 28th. They've got to sign up on Meetup at the Hack Greenville Meetup site. You know much about what's going on?
I think they're still getting talks together about some things and food. I know it's going to have something to do with rice bowls, and that's about all I know about
rice
it.
bowls. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's still kind of being organized. If anyone's interested in helping prep food or speaking at it, or anything. Doesn't have to be a long thing. I think everything there we generally do is like lightning talks. Yeah, 15 minutes. I think it'd be 5 minutes. Just something you want to talk about, show off, share with people. It's a fun time.
Nice thing for community, for the upstate communities and all the little groups like ours.
Yeah,
to meet each other and know about the other groups.
Yeah, I think it's I feel like there are bigger cities that don't have as good of a community as our little thing does. So, yeah.
And speaking of small groups, I found out through the Hack Greenville Slack that there's going to be there's a new Ruby group.
Yeah.
It's in Taylor's of all places.
Well, he says it's gonna bounce around to different library locations. So.
Well, yeah.
But
tomorrow is in Taylor's.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
What time is that?
It's 6, I think.
Yeah, that was actually. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna go to it, but yeah, I met him up at there was a Ruby conference up in Asheville, and he was real. He posted on that conference, "Hey, I'm starting a Ruby group in the Upstate." I was like, "There's kind of one
another."
Already. I mean, like you can, I'm certainly not one to discourage you. In fact, if you did get, but
because it's kind of died off a little bit, right?
Well, I kind of let it go. But Fatty, who's my boss, Fatty is my boss. He started it up again. We had one just a meetup just like a month ago. FADI. He's the CTO of Simplify. Anyway, so he's I think he's primarily doing it to try to find employees. But yeah, he kind of was going to pick up the torch again, and so I tried to connect those two. But I think this guy wanted to do his own thing, which is fine. We'll see where that goes.
Never hurts to have too many.
Yeah, let's see what works out. So yeah, he's doing it at the library. I think he's doing a little bit more of a show up and we'll do something. Like he's not necessarily doing like talks or anything. It's just more of like hey, y'all want to hack together or something like that. So,
But you don't know when that is.
He's doing it on the second Wednesday of every month. So tomorrow is going to be the first one, and he's also got it scheduled for the next one.
What time?
Tomorrow at 6.
Yeah.
It's Taylor's Bernadette Branch.
Yeah.
It's up library.
So.
It's just up the road.
Sorry, I said I met Thomas Cannon at Grok. I really like him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he seems enthusiastic, which I'm all
Yeah.
for. So
Yeah.
He's very energetic.
Well, Well, I'm looking forward to it because I mean, and from my point of view, I don't know Ruby, so I'm going as a newbie. So it'll be kind of neat. And then the last thing I want to mention as far as events, Southeast Linux Fest just announced that they are that the registration's open. They're at a different hotel this year for the first time in what, a decade at least.
Yeah,
Well, let's see.
pre-COVID, certainly.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be, it's still in Charlotte though, but it's, June the 12th to the 14th, they got registration open and that sort of thing at a new location. Anyway, that's all I really got as far as things to talk about.
I think Eastside's Greenville just opened up their registration. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, that's a phone one. It's usually fairly cheap and it's local. It's on a Saturday usually.
When do you think it'll be?
He posted about it on, I think, the DEF CON Discord, but I don't know off the top. But yeah, search for B-Sides Greenville. I'm sure it'll probably come up. Maybe. Okay, there you go. August 29th.
August 29th.
So the cybersecurity things are always just interesting, even if that's not your area. They got everything from lock picking to, talks about JWT token. Security spans the spectrum of things. And so,
And is it probably going to be at the
floors where they've been having it the last few years. The dust. Yeah, they call the building, I think, the Darth Vader building or something, because it's just all black. Anyway, but yeah, it's just on floor over there by the mall. So,
Call for papers by May 29th.
Yeah.
Southeast Linux Fest is already closed for call for papers. Hack Greenville is looking for talks. Again, 15 minutes or less, right?
yeah, and I think also Carolina Code Conference is now, you can sign up
yes.
and get tickets for that as well if you're interested in that, and that's your local as well. Barry runs that. I think he's already got the speakers lined up, or maybe finalizing it. I'm not exactly sure, but
Tell us a little bit about that.
so Carolina Code Conference has been around for a while. It started by a different guy. I forgot his name, but almost got on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite. Anyway,
Picture him in there somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was like a lot of things that died off over the pandemic. It used to be free, but now I think he's trying to build it into a bigger, more regional conference. So it's not quite, but it's still fairly affordable. And you can come one day or the other day or both days, depending on what your time and afford. But it's a polyglot conference, they call it. So it's just all different languages and technologies. So there'll be cybersecurity people there. There'll be people writing different languages there. It's just, sharing different ideas.
COBOL.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the guy, he was one of the inventors of it.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. Yeah, he maintains the
GNU COBOL. Yeah.
the new COBOL.
Island.
I'll say, just think about all the guys that he knows in the world, the bankers and important people.
Yeah.
I bet you he can pretty much name his salary too.
Yeah, he worked at IBM, he developed it at IBM in the 60s.
And at least right now, it's still single track. So there's just like one speaker serially for the 2 days of the conference. So.
And I think that's,
You don't have to make any choices.
yeah, that's a goal of his too, of Barry too. He likes single tracks. So I don't even if it got bigger, I don't see that changing.
He's not changing.
He would probably go to multiple days over multiple tracks. So, yeah.
Well, that's a good little topic there we have for a little bit. I don't have a topic tonight, so and I'm not really sure where to go from here. How's it?
Here is okay.
Everybody on the stream here is okay? You're muted if you have said something.
Yeah. Chat, yes.
Oh, chatter. I hear Jason. You yes says Dillard. Yes says Arnold. Okay. Thank y'all.
I guess anyone
Say Olivia tested
playing with
earlier, we
anything
heard her.
interesting
So.
or new?
We heard Olivia.
Yeah.
Linux or whatever from?
Yeah, I've been listening.
What was that?
I've been listening.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Good to hear from you. Let's see. So here's the awkward pauses. I mean, it's funny. As soon as I turn off the stream, we're gonna have a lot of chatter. It just always happens that way, right? It's I guess directing the conversation that I'm also not really very good at that if I don't have a speaker talking. Is there any topics? All right, so I hate to do this every single time, but does anyone want to talk about something in the future for a future presentation? No. Okay. Next topic. Let's see. So copy failed. You talked about that a second ago. Don't know anything about it? Yeah, it was like a big vulnerability in the Linux kernel itself that all distributions have had since the code was in the kernel like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 6 something, I think, or maybe 4 might have even had it.
Okay.
It was pretty early.
Kernel version
And
6.
they released a thing that could exploit it.
Right.
Like they didn't hold back, so
It was a real short
could be-
Python script.
it could be actively exploited quite easily today. It's not like it might be just exploitable type things.
Did anyone have the balls to try running the little 7-line Python script over the machine?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, security people, that's how they have fun.
You didn't try it out.
I myself, no. Normally, what you do is you create a VM, and then you destroy your VM. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I think they're just using old code that, and as I understand it, it was like because of a reuse of buffers.
It was a page cache.
It was page caching, and it was using something obscure. It's IPsec encryption of some sort to do that, or is that the one this weekend? I can't remember now. I'm saying
The
that.
module itself was a crypto module
Yeah.
that was able to write to a page that interacted with a different part of like the permissions and allowed you to change the permissions of the current running user to root.
Right.
I think it was like a very serious CVE. It was unfortunate. This, from my perspective as someone that has to run cloud security, was basically every one of your machines was vulnerable, but say you're running a web server, you don't give people user level access to your server. And so, we have bigger problems if, say, my Node or Python runtime is exploitable to the level that anybody can just run arbitrary commands, even at the, say Docker level that container is running at. Because if they've taken over that runtime, they would have access to your database, unfettered access, to like a lot of things that say your backend API, has access to. And so in my mind, like if they already had access to your API at the user level, you've probably lost most of the things that you were trying to protect. So I was like, I agree that we need to patch this, but especially if you're running on like one of the cloud platforms, they were surprisingly slow to push, like on AWS, platform updates to patch all their Amazon Linux 2023. And like, I forget if Azure was maybe a little bit quicker, but I can't patch AWS's platform, AMIs. I guess I could, but then I would go off of their automatic upgrade path and have to keep steer back on. So explain that to the security wonks is at least at my job, was more difficult than you'd think.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've unloaded the crypto module. It's fine.
Right.
I know that you have a scanner that can look at the AMI and see that it's a vulnerable kernel, but I promise you it's not a problem. And when AWS patches it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and if you compile your kernel and don't even have that module compiled in, then it's not a thing at all.
Yeah. So,
Or like you say, you remove the module. So
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, if they have remote code execution, to be able to run an arbitrary Python thing, it's kind of game over anyway.
yeah.
They can read your database, they can do whatever.
and the one this weekend was a vulnerability in Andrew's file system. I mean, like who uses that anymore?
Is this the same, and this other is like copy fail 2. Is that what?
The one I'm thinking of was not called that, but it was a similar method, and it was like chaining two different vulnerabilities together. One of which being the Andrews file system. You know, it's like, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the copy fail 2 was. It was something like they patched it, but then immediately like found a way like around that patch.
Really, yeah.
So you said the copy fail, it's ran by a module.
If I remember correctly.
It's called the ALGF_AEAD module. And for people that cannot patch their kernels, they can disable that module. I think what you were saying.
So like you just write a file to mod probe that says,
Yeah.
do not load this, put it to like, bin/false or something.
Right.
Yeah. And then you can also, I forget what the actual command is to dynamically unload it, but you can make sure it's not going to run on that box if you can't do a full kernel update at the moment.
Is that module? It's called AEAD, Authenticated Encryption with Associated Data Algorithms. So is that something that's a very widespread used module, or is it pretty edge case, like a very specialized module that's really not needed for 99% of?
It certainly wasn't a common one that like you couldn't do TLS with the hardware accelerator if you didn't have that loaded. So it might be commonly used for some things, but in like full stack web applications, it didn't seem to be.
Was that the one that was part of IPsec?
Yeah, I
it's
think
been.
IPsec used it or something.
Yeah, something. Like that.
So it's needed very much.
Well, if you're running IPsec on that machine,
Yeah, which I don't think most people are. I don't know enough about what IPsec does
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a VPN technology.
Yeah.
It's based on IPv6 or something like that.
Well, if it breaks, put it back on.
Right, exactly.
It's like you have to test environments.
Oh, hey, Ben. So, okay. What next? Anyone else want to talk about something else or continue with this? What y'all been doing lately? What's new and exciting?
I feel like that Amarpy is getting popular everywhere. I'm seeing people using it.
Yeah.
Getting excited about it. I don't know if anyone here is.
We're
Used
starting to
Yeah, it's like the guy who DHH is the guy who created Rails. He got really into Linux, kind of made his own distro.
recently.
Yeah.
He's like recently gotten really into it. And
Yeah.
he's
I don't know much about it beyond that.
Yeah.
But, I think though
I'm pointing it your way. So
I think it, it's heavily based around sort of tiling window managers and stuff, Hyperland and some of those. So, and it's just like all of his software is very opinionated. Like he's basically making his operating system that a lot of other people happen to like, which is the same way he made Rails, which is like that's his stack, and a lot of other people find it useful.
Say the name of it one more time.
It's called Omarchy, OMARCHY. It's an Arch Linux with then all of his additions
Hyperland
to it.
on top of it
Yeah.
for customization stuff.
Yeah.
I have it loaded on a NUC that I use for a little bit of like gaming and stuff like that, and I like it. It's nice. I don't use Arch as a daily distro, but it's a nice. It's very pleasant looking and configurable. So
Yeah, he has also has a very big interest in like style and stuff, and so I think he spent quite a long time getting everything. Like he even forked Chrome so that when he switched the theme for like the operating system theme, that Chrome would auto update, and you didn't have to like restart Chrome in order to get the updated. Like, he's very into aesthetics, and so
I've heard it's very similar to Mac. Look at you.
I wouldn't say
yeah.
so because it's tiling. It's like the window manager is tiling, and
yeah, very keyboard driven,
yeah, so
which is
you
definitely
don't use
not
your
Mac.
mouse much.
Mm.
And he actually leaned in quite a bit to like embracing Electron app support for things.
Mhm.
So
Oh, interesting.
it'll load, or sorry, not Electron, PWAs.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'll install a persistent web application. So there's like some files that you can add to a website to make it installable onto your phone or your desktop as an app. And it will have an icon and act like an app. And there's also stuff for like browser storage persistence. When you install PWA, that means that it can work better offline without having network connectivity via web workers. But the OMARChy embraces that to where, like, if you want to install, say, like ChatGPT, I don't think it actually downloads like the Electron ChatGPT app by default. It'll just like install the PWA of the website, and that goes for like a lot of websites. When you search for something in their installer, it'll often grab the PWA first.
And then does it like use Chrome underneath or Firefox underneath?
I think it's Chromium is the default browser in it, but you can install Firefox or whatever you want for it. So yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah,
I'd say
I mean-
take it for a spin if you want something to do.
Since it's Archbase, I mean, you put anything you want on there still. It's
No,
just- yeah, out of the box, I think it's his own fork of Chrome. It had the right aesthetic, which I'm a little cautious on the idea. Just keep my own branch of Chrome. That'll be easy to maintain.
No security risks with that.
Yeah, but I guess whatever works for him.
All for more convenient theming.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see.
Yeah, I'm on his site and Archie, he don't believe in putting screenshots up very much. You gotta film it and figure it out.
I think if on the website, I think there's like a 15 or 20-minute video of DHH just like walking through it pretty quickly. So if you just want to see what it looks like and what it could do, I just watch you have 15 minutes, watch the video, and then or if you enjoy slogging through the distro, I mean, it was actually a really fast install. So maybe but because it's so keyboard driven, you might want to watch a tutorial or read a tutorial on it if you're gonna give it a spin.
All right. It's funny. A couple months ago, my wife and I went to Atlanta, the raceway down there, and I happened to see this guy with an Omarchy.
I'm not, yeah. I'm not sure. I call it
With a
Marty, but-
T-shirt that had the symbol for it. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then as he was walking past, I noticed it was DHH.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
he's a race car driver also.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of wild knowing that he was about to be in the race. It was kind of wild. Anyway.
I was just at my parents' place for Mother's Day. I noticed my cousin was wearing a bracelet, said Ubuntu on it. And I was like, in no way is she at all tech related. Why do you? Apparently it means something in some other language, like
Yeah.
we are
Yeah.
one or something like that. So I'm like, why do you have an Ubuntu bracelet?
Yeah. It's a phrase. It's a
Yeah, I think that's from some African language.
Yeah. yeah.
They'll probably, gonna have to give me a few months, so I probably could do a talk, because we've been setting up our company and everything. We're making the transition right now from fully development to production with our own machines and everything, and just going and maybe one of the questions I had for people here, we've been doing like Ansible playbooks and everything, and with the Linux, with user privileges and escalation, and even for our AI bots, we're going to have their own accounts and everything, and combining that, like the whole stack is, we've got like Ubiquity VPN and HashiCorp is where we're storing all our key API keys and stuff, Bitwarden, password, and the Ansible, and the main database is Postgres. I've got like a non-Patroni node right now, so it's like a manager, like database manager that like will switch nodes automatically if one goes down. It's kind of like a
Never heard of that.
It's Italian. I know you know about you. You're the one that told me about the Ansible that I should do it. It's about a year ago, not a year ago, maybe like 9 months ago. We were talking about it. I think, and one of the first discussions we were talking. So,
Yeah, it's a useful tool to set up machines.
What's it called?
Ansible.
Ansible.
Oh, Ansible. I've messed with it just a little bit. I'm more of a Salt person,
Yeah.
But,
never used-
but I'm a little worried about Salt because.
yeah, but I say you on the salt train? Now that
Well, I
it's,
haven't been doing managing virtual machines or physical machines lately. I've just been in.
showing in the machines and
Yeah.
fixing things.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing that. I'm
Okay.
just majority of what I've been doing is GitHub Actions actually. So
Where all the vulnerabilities happen now.
right.
Alan Valancourt used to, when he was at Red Hat, he would do trainings on it. So if you ever need someone on reach out to on Slack, Valancourt probably
Okay.
could answer a lot of questions.
Well, and Barry gave a talk in this group several years ago about how to make your personal laptop or whatever using Ansible, set it up for personal use, which I've done for Salt, but it's the same idea.
And the salt, one of my complaints with Ansible is that like you can't guarantee the system has like it'll go and make updates, but like if someone else, it's not like Terraform will tell you, oh, there's been a change manually made here, and we need to put that back down in the config files. And so I guess it doesn't review the entire system and say, is it consistent with your declarative sort of configuration? It just shows in and makes the changes,
Right.
and you hope for the best. You hope that not that it is that no change has been made to the live runtime.
Right.
Does Salt do any better?
Salt
on
is
that?
declarative, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it will tell you, hey, this MySQL config, someone changed it manually, and I'm going to remove it unless you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so ideally what you want to do with Salt is you want to do a dry run
Yeah.
sort of thing, and then it'll tell you what it would change back to what it should be, which is your declarative
Yeah.
group of stuff.
Okay. So that's the way Terraform
and-
works, and I
yeah,
prefer
right.
that.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah.
Although you can, if you don't review that, here's what I'm going to change. You can also tear down your whole
Right.
infrastructure. But
Yes. Yeah, that's the problem with that. So yeah, in that way, Salt's like Terraform, declarative and also idempotent.
Mhm. Yeah, that's probably the word I'm really looking for. That idempotency.
So
Yeah, I was thinking about adding like a pre-commit hook for Ansible itself when I do push PRs that have any kind of ingestion scripts and
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your environment. If you're in an environment where no one's ever showing in and doing anything manually, I'm currently in an environment where people do. And so having a reproducible system is not, Ansible just doesn't work well for that because of that.
how you doing? thanks for last month, showing us tiling window manager. If y'all didn't see it, you should see last month's presentation, which is pretty cool. It should be on Ben's account. Isn't that right? Yeah, Ben's still here. Sir?
I remember seeing them.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Did you finish your Linux from scratch that you were going to do?
We are done with that. I did as much as I'm going to do.
Right. I think what he was asking if he has done his Linux from scratch.
Yeah, I was looking to I was trying to do it bare minimum on my laptop. I opened up a little partition to try to everything going there and actually compile all the libraries and stuff. The project's gotten away. So maybe one day.
Yeah, so you've got the benefit of youth. So
I got a bit of free time. I've been working on some other things instead. So
yeah, there was a time where I would only compile my kernel. I would not trust the kernel from any distribution. I'm not that way now.
Did you ever use Gentoo?
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to be a huge Gentoo fan, and then I was a Funtoo fan.
I never used Gentoo. I'm assuming it came after Gentoo, but
So much like DHH, the guy that started Gentoo was opinionated and had ideas about making an entire operating system for himself, and had a personality.
Mhm.
And some people didn't like it. You know, there was this big group of Gentoo, and he left the community that he started, and then started a new project called Funtoo, which was based on Gentoo, but more fun, in his opinion. And I liked it, but a lot too. He added a lot more tools and stuff to make it a lot easier, and it was really great. It's funny. I discovered when I was working at VMware that he was also working at VMware, so I got in contact with him every once in a while and got to find out. And then whenever Broadcom bought VMware and he and I were both let go, I contacted him later and come to find out I'm not quite sure what the exact story is, but my understanding is that he has given up on technology in general, so, which is a shame because Funtoo was fantastic. Gentoo was fantastic, and he was a very talented coder
yeah, the nice thing about Gentoo is you could set like system-wide like compile flags, like how optimized it was, whether you wanted to include internationalization or not. So if you knew you were just going to use it in English,
right,
you could just leave that out and so compile your whole system without that.
Yeah, no need to have French and Chinese on my computer.
the thing I remember about Gentoo is there being, for some reason, absurdly difficult to have two versions of the same package at the same time.
Yeah.
It just was, I don't know, the way that like the packages are slotted in.
They did eventually get slots, I think they called them.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the beginning it was that way, but not at all like Nix does.
And you can have as many versions of those packages.
Yeah. And I'm still looking forward to some spare time where I can get into Nix. I haven't had a chance yet.
Tell me, it's never been easier. Now that Claude can tell you what to do.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What else? How's everything's going with you? Double thumbs up.
I haven't touched the Nix, but I've seen all the people talk around it. I'm a little late, so sorry.
No, we haven't gotten on to Nix until just now.
Yeah, I've seen all the talk around it, making things configurable. I guess maybe I'm still in my youth playing with dot files and setting up a dot file debug.
Yeah.
That way.
We don't have a topics. We're just passing the microphone around.
That works. I mean,
Can you
Nix sounds
hear?
interesting, and I like to mess with it someday. But I think the more pressing change that I want to make right now is with NeoVim. since I think it's like version 0.12 or whatever it is that they came out with recently, they added a package manager built into NeoVim now.
Thank goodness.
So I'm looking to switch over to that because from what I heard, if you use the built-in NeoVim package manager, it launches way faster. It's like built-in lazy loading, everything. You don't need to install dependencies with anything else. You just open up like a plain NeoVim config and straight in there use like vim.pack, a GitHub link, and it does it all without installing anything else. So I just like recently switched off of lazy Vim onto doing things from scratch with a like pack.vim, whatever it's called, I don't remember. And then they just came out with this now, so I want to switch over to use the built-in package manager for all of its performance, whatever, because I love my startup times. But the timing of that was really annoying.
Package manager, like for controlling plugins or?
Yeah, for plugins, because well, NeoVim has a bunch of plugins. I use a bunch of plugins for all sorts of little things. So like I have a file manager kind of sort of built in NeoVim that just looks like a buffer, so I can edit files as if they're lines of text, which is nice for moving things around like that. And for things like tree sitter, which I think is also built in now, but there's some plugins that expand on stuff where it lets you do syntax highlighting and move around based on the actual like syntax tree of the code and not just through characters like Vim does normally. So there's a bunch of little plugins that NeoVim has that if you saw my config file, it's really long and
So you've been,
yeah, it's tinkering.
you've been using it for a while. So because anyone who's been using Vim has a very long config file. So.
Yeah, exactly. You change a whole bunch of stuff, and there's a whole bunch of plugins that are just config files that you download and plug into your config files, basically, but they can do some pretty crazy things. So I've been tinkering with that a lot. I still haven't reached compiling my own kernel yet, but playing around with dot files and config files and that.
When was the last time anyone did build their own kernel?
College.
College, really?
I wish they had me do that in college.
But I had an operating system design class that, and this was late 90s, so Linux was just getting on the scene, and so we used, rather than use like a toy OS to try to teach OS concepts like Minix or something like that, we used Linux, so we had like assignments in it, and we had one assignment which was like building our own file system, and it was just a toy one, but just to help you understand how, rather than study sort of an artificial theoretical operating system, the idea was to work with a real one. So it was a cool class. I even became a TA for that class later because I liked it so much. Yeah. Actually, that build the file system was an assignment I came up with, and it was funny because I was busy with my other classwork. So, but when you make an assignment, you kind of got to do it yourself. And I got like 80% done, but I was just too busy, and so I was like, I know how to finish it, but I don't have time, so I'm just not gonna. So I never quite finished the assignment myself, and then I went and gave it to the students, and they. But some of them did complete it, so I know it was possible. But I looked like 5 or 10 years later, and they were still using that assignment.
Really?
They eventually got rid of that course, but I was just curious if they, like 5 years later or something, I went and looked. I was like, I still got that, because it was a pretty hard assignment, like trying to write your own file, And they could, of course, look at any of the other file systems to see how they work, but the idea was, how to, write your own file system module.
Well, I was when I was working at Clemson, I took some classes because that was one of the benefits of employment, and they had a graduate class very similar to that, and we wrote a video driver for a fake video thing. So yeah, it was very similar to what you're talking about. That was in 2010s or something like that, 20 aughts. But that was a lot of fun to build the kernel again.
We had these little compact things. It was kind of like a Raspberry Pi, a little bit bigger.
Oh.
But that's what we would build the kernel on and run it on. It was such a little lab computer that we would use, because they didn't really want students using their own, like,
In the 90s?
yeah.
Oh,
It was,
wow.
what it was called, compact something, but it was like maybe about this big and
Huh.
maybe about that thin, and it was
A thin client.
yeah. I mean, it's just a little, like I said, a lot like a Raspberry Pi. So I had a case, and they got a bunch of those in, and so that's what we would build the kernel with. So
Yeah.
it was a cool thing.
It's really compact.
Yeah.
Compact.
Makes me think about, what was the company that had the boxes with the cows and?
Gateway 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3000. 2000, because when it was the year 2000, we dropped the 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gateway.
Which is Gateway from that point forward. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Compaq, I think, was the company that reverse engineered the IBM BIOS. If I remember correctly, from history. Because up until that point, the only way that you could have, I mean, an IBM PC was stock stuff, but there was that special sauce called the BIOS. And, all these manufacturers knew that they could just get off the shelf stuff and make a computer if only they could just start it up somehow. And I think it was Compaq that reverse engineered the BIOS, if I'm remembering correctly. And what they did was they had two teams, one that would probe every bit and write it down in a large document, huge document. And then they would hand that document off to the people that would implement it. That way they could get around the legalities of it. But yeah,
They just had the thing apart with the probes on the chip, and they were doing every pin.
Yeah.
And then just let
And
the output come out.
that's my understanding. I mean, I may be misremembering or simplifying it for my own head, but I think they just, okay, if we apply 5 volts here, what happens? And then all the pins, that one lights up and that one lights up. I think that's my understanding of kind of what I'm not being an electronics person, so, but yeah, and then they would write down, like I say, this is what happens. And this team did not create anything, and this team did not detect anything. They handed a document from one team to the other in a clean room sort of way. And so the implementation was different than the original, but it did the same things,
Assembly code, right?
Well, and even lower than that, it would just be machine code, They probably, the implementation team probably abstracted it some other way or similarly in assembly or something like that. I imagine. That part I don't really know about. But yeah, that's always been a neat thing. And they kind of, in the show, was a television series, Halt and Catch Fire. They took that theme and made Halt and Catch Fire about that similar idea. So anyway, maybe I'm confusing that with the actual show, with that show too. It's conflating the two. Well, it's 7:15. Should we call it a night, maybe? We're all kind of quiet, and as soon as we turn off the stream, then we'll start talking again. Right, Ben?
Yeah, I guess that's my rule.
I got an issue I'm trying to figure out. If we can,
An
see
issue?
If anyone's got any suggestions.
Okay.
I need to basically just like multiplex some Kafka streams.
Multiplex Kafka streams.
Yeah. So I've got like a Kafka producer streaming out data, and I want to make it highly available so that it can go down without interrupting the stream.
right? Like we can sustain, racks and nodes in our data center going down and stuff. So right now it's just one producer streaming out data. But if I spin up another one and then we have 2 Kafka streams blasting out data, I only want the consumer getting one logical stream. And I don't know how I go about, condensing the redundant streams down into a single Kafka partition. So, anyone got any ideas?
I'm afraid I don't know. We implemented Kafka at a place that I used to work, but I wasn't part of that. It's what you're describing. I thought that's what the point of Kafka was that you had a message bus shared across message queue across multiple nodes.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm going to be writing
For
to the message
redundancy,
redundantly.
Is it like one source of data, like you're just streaming like off of a database, or what's the actual source data?
Like a UDP multicast stream. So they'll both be subscribing to the socket and listening to the multicast traffic.
Okay. So it's not too hard for you to stand up parallel producers
Right.
that are subscribed to the same.
Yeah.
And what's your concern with doing it that way? Is you're saying like, does that actually solve anything for you, or
Well, just then, I don't want to have like double the Kafka volume.
yeah?
Like, I only need one stream of this data.
I mean, hey, it's been a while since I've had to do Kafka work, but you can have like a follower, right? When you get it like clustered. So in theory, if just like the node that your producer dies on for some reason, I think you can have some redundancy where it'll automatically pick up or it's doing some health checks. And I think Zookeeper might coordinate that if memory serves, but it's been a hot minute since I've played too much in the Kafka world. I feel like there's a lot of people that make a lot of money from using Kafka. And but yeah, maybe see if I'm pretty sure there's like orchestration tooling
Like
that
within
can allow it to
Kafka?
fail over. If
Well, it's not so much about like the Kafka broker going down that I'm concerned about. It's my service that's writing messages to Kafka. No. Like, so my service is reading from the UDP socket,
Yeah.
parsing it, sending it out into a Kafka message. And so if I just have if I stand up 2 of these, then I'm going to be writing
Yeah.
duplicate messages, and my Kafka consumers, shouldn't be getting duplicate messages.
Yeah. I guess in that case, even if you don't have like a tool that does it, you could probably just write some software that's looking for your.
It's just like sitting in
your
between
thing and saying, if I
deduplicating.
haven't seen something from this topic in 30 seconds, I'm going to start consuming the UDP. And, like if you needed redundancy in that way, would that get at what you're looking for? Because you're worried about your kind of like hand-spun service that's consuming the UDP and translating it into Kafka going down.
Right.
And is it you're worried about like your code crashing? In which case, having 2 versions of it.
Well, my code would never crash.
Yeah.
So that's not a concern. But if
wow.
a node in the data center that it's running on goes down, there's nothing that I could do about that. So that would not be my fault.
One data center.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
What did you say your stream is? It like gaming stream? Is it like chat streams? What is it?
It's financial data. So
Okay.
trades,
Oh, okay.
stuff as it comes in.
Important stuff.
Yeah.
I see.
So people don't like to miss a data point in that
Is it getting
stream.
Dashboards or notifications or?
Well, my company, like we're just like the data providers. So our customers can use that to build whatever. Yeah.
The other thing you can do is just have a UDP consumer that just like writes it to this as the backup. So if you ever need to replay it off your UDP, like that data, at least you've got it separate somewhere and have it, overwrite it. So you're not just like doing terabytes and terabytes of worthless UDP data, but like at least you'd have a record of it captured if your main producer goes down at some point?
Oh, well, we do that too.
It's
Like,
already done.
well, we capture like PCAPs of everything,
Okay.
and that is our ultimate source of truth.
Huh.
But for the real time portion that we're streaming as it comes in. So for like historical data, we do
Yeah,
base it off
It's too
captured
late. If it's
PCAPs.
gone down.
Yeah. If it's gone, we're not gonna repair it.
Tomorrow or 2
Yeah.
hours later, it doesn't matter.
But we do like a 2-day window. So if it's more than 2-day old data, it's getting parsed out of the PCAPs instead of live data.
And I'm just gonna go off topic here, but if at any time anyone doesn't understand the words of the things that we're talking about, like someone probably doesn't know what Kafka or PCAPs or Nix or Omarchi or Markey or any of the things we've been talking about tonight. If anyone has any what is NeoVim sort of thing, please
I'm just Googling the crap out
you're
of
going.
it. Actually, I'll be honest.
I think this is a group that's going to have multiple levels of knowledge about multiple topics, and we're all going to learn from each other about something, right? So at any time, feel free to question anything. Those of us that are new, I mean, I only know that Kafka is a thing, right?
Yes.
For example. So I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm like, yeah. But I do know what the PCAP is.
So I mean, it's just a message broker, right? So you publish messages to it, and people can subscribe to those messages. And there's a lot that it has going on internally that I am not an expert in any way.
And you're talking about so you're talking about, okay, so UDP of course is the protocol that just sends out, and whether it gets caught or not, it doesn't really care.
Yeah.
But you capture those as PCAPs, which are packet captures, by a sniffer, something that's on the network that's looking and just writing down what it sees on the network.
Yes.
That's what a PCAP is, and so which is a very low level sort of thing to be capturing.
Yeah.
That's
Is that like Wireshark?
exactly.
Yep.
Wireshark writes PCAPs.
Yeah.
To make sure you get it raw or.
Well, so that's
A
just
lot of data to store all the time.
Exactly.
How much storage do y'all use?
a lot with petabytes.
Petabytes.
Yeah.
And is it with
No, we have our own data center. We just stood up a new one in Atlanta that's just storage. Like it's just racks and racks of NVMe drives, which have gotten very expensive in the last year.
well, yeah.
So that's been fun. But yeah, so we capture straight the network blast that comes out of the exchanges, write it down as our ultimate source of truth.
So despite doing PCAPs, you want your Kafka to have redundancy
Yeah.
in a higher level than the PCAP bit.
So like a architectural overview, I guess, is
Yeah.
like, it's kind of a response. You can ask for like, what's the stock price of Apple? And we have like the historical data for all of that. And if you ask, what is the stock price of Apple right now? That comes from a certain database. We use RocksDB is where that's in.
Use what?
RocksDB.
Rocks? ROCKS?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I think it's just a time series database.
Okay.
And so we use that for like the most recent 2 days worth of data. And so we stream through the parser, like the reading off the multicast socket, parse it, send it to Kafka. And from Kafka, it goes into RocksDB. If it's more than 2 days old, it's in the historical database. And that gets populated via running the parser over the PCAPs. So hopefully that is complete. So like if the live transmission, if we miss something or whatever, once we switch to the 2 days, like it should all be there. It's the idea.
So the Rocks database that's old is just thrown away. It's not even used. It's the PCAP information is source of truth.
Yeah, like RocksDB, we got, it's like a 2-day
Right.
TTL
But
kind
I'm
of on
saying
the.
you don't save everything. It's in the Rocks database that's older than 2
No, no, no.
days.
Yeah, that
You
just
just throw it
falls
away.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you doing minute pricing or?
Yeah, we'd have like do the aggregate bars, second aggregates, minute aggregates. And then yeah, and we let people do like custom aggregates, which gets like actually really confusing for like quarter, like if people want to do quarter ags or monthly ags, because calendar math is hard when they start to try to do that.
Yeah, well, they can do their running averages on those.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where are y'all getting that from? The Bloomberg or?
All the goal is to get as many data sources as we can. It's pretty much the business model. So we get some of them, a lot of them straight from exchanges.
It's all financial though.
Yeah, NYSE, NASDAQ, I don't know, Morningstar, Benzinga. Like we just stream in data from everybody, and
I know very, very little about what you've said so far.
Okay.
So forgive me if I ask a dumb question. But when you're talking about like dealing with redundant streams, would these be like identical streams or would they have differences? Like, and are you trying to solve for like rectifying the data or like just unifying like
yeah,
things that are the same?
it would be exactly the same. And so I just want, like, in case the system crashes, that the data stream can go on uninterrupted. So I can run 2 of them at the same time. So if one goes down, the other one is still working.
It's only a one is, can only be the producer, can you have a mirror?
That's what I'm trying to come up with.
I mean, it's not built into Kafka that you can do that?
I don't know.
The Kafka is just like one stream of messages. Are you wondering about doing like 2 producers and identical messages in the same stream, or like having multiple streams open that people can, or I guess applications where can subscribe to all the streams? What's
Trying to figure that out. So you could have the 2 producers write to the same one and have somebody else down the line figure out deduplication. Or you could write them to 2 separate ones. And yeah,
I don't know if there would be a way for like the producers to peek at the stream in any way to like check if the message they have suddenly sent, or if you could do like a unique ID thing.
yeah, something like that might be what we need to do, but is like a high throughput thing. And so I'm concerned about like needing to check Kafka's state before I send something to it.
Just for like latency, I imagine having multiple streams would just be the way to go.
Just blasting them out there.
If you follow like one stream and it goes down, there's another one somewhere else. I don't know how you select between those.
Yeah, is there equivalent of a load balancer, for Kafka streams or something?
Yeah, the thing is we have like a lot of different consumers, so it would be hard to like go make all of them aware of this redundant thing.
Maybe it could be like a situation where you have another layer of like one single consumer that does deduplication, or if that would cause too much latency. I feel like it gets tricky if you're getting, like trying to find redundancy for lots of consumers, because then they all independently have to figure out the source of truth.
So I think I still want it to come out as one stream.
As one stream, so then you
Yeah,
need to do deduplication.
you write it to 2 separate ones, have one consumer consume from both of those, basically deduplicate it into one.
Either have like a middleman that kind of checks everything, but then if that goes down.
Yeah, well,
But at least it like condenses
yeah,
it to a different point of failure. Maybe just put
Alright.
that one in some very special
some special place that doesn't go down, never crashes.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if you want more of a networking level, like, you just want to replicate essentially a socket, almost like, when they do port forwarding on SSH or something, and that way you have your proxy that everyone connects to, and then that you can choose from which Kafka stream to essentially replicate out to. And if one of the Kafkas went down, maybe you could pass kind of automatic failover or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to like
Yeah.
switch
Yeah, having a little
between.
independent service to like consume all the streams and handle deduplication. You still run into if that goes down, the whole system goes down, but at the very least, it separates the producers from having to worry about going down.
Yeah. And, maybe my code can get stuck at times. So it's actually really pissing me off. Like it just gets stuck. Happens like once a month and I can't figure out why. Yeah, when I figure it out, I'll give a talk about how what happened.